In the news tonight, opposition still wants thorough probe into Quindon Bacchus's death, despite 3 cops being charged.
We expect a thorough investigation and demand that all who have been complicit in the murder be brought to justice.
And government says it has Amerindian interests at heart, while opposition urges them to demand their right to self-determination.
In less than 2 years, when you take the current and capital expenditure, in less than 2 years, your government has invested more than $50 billion in Amerindian communities and Amerindian people.
Our indigenous leaders must defeat the goal of the PPP to dominate and dictate what is best for the indigenous peoples.
The opposition AP and UFC, while welcoming the murder and attempt to obstruct the course of justice charges against 3 policemen in the Quindon Bacchus fatal shooting, says they also expect a thorough investigation and demand that all who have been complicit in the murder to be brought to justice.
We note that there are many other members of the Guyana Police Force who have been implicated in the murder of Bacchus. We expect a thorough investigation and demand that all who have been complicit in the murder be brought to justice. The PPP would be wrong to assume that the trial of 3 junior ranks, however protracted, would eventually extinguish the pain and the outrage felt by many over Quindon Bacchus's murder. We can only urge the Ali government not to make that fatal mistake. All justice-seeking Guyanese will continue to keep vigil for Quindon Bacchus.
Opposition leader Aubrey Norton speaking there at the party's weekly press conference. According to Norton, this marks a degree of progress in the struggle for justice.
All credit must go to the family of Quindon Bacchus and the Golden Grove community for resolutely standing for justice and applying public pressure on the People's Progressive Party government and the institutions of law enforcement. Without their perseverance, the PPP government would have been only too eager to sweep the murder of Quindon Bacchus under the proverbial carpet, as it has done in the case of Orrin Boston and others.
Police Lance Corporal Christophe de Nobrega was charged with the murder of Quindon Bacchus, who was shot 7 times during a police sting operation at Haslington on the east coast of Demerara on June 10th. Lance Corporal Tristan Simon and Cadet Officer Damien McLennan were charged with attempting to obstruct the course of justice.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
The next time you're looking for premium packaging, check out Fullworks Packaging Products at 151 Regent Road, Border. Telephone numbers 233-2818 or their mobile on 639-6466. We supply all types of boxes, plates, cups, empty bottles for the supply of juices and coconut water. Fullworks Packaging Products. By Guyana, we build Guyana.
What are you doing?
Igloo ice cream. You know it's good.
Running late and can't wait to the gate? We got you. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited has introduced a fast and easier way to make payments to your accounts through the GT&T mobile money services. Here's how. Click on the MMG app. Under Services, select Pay Bills. When you are there, look for the Financial Institution option. Once that is done, select Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited to pay your loan or make payments to your savings. Payments to the credit union made easier. GPS CCU, the credit union you can bank on.
The National Two Shows Conference is on the way at the Otterchong Conference Center at Liliendale. It was at the opening of the conference where President Afanali said that his government has invested more than $50 billion in the advancement of Amerindians over the last 2 years.
Let us have an honest, well-targeted, focused discussion in advancing the welfare of youth, the leaders, and the communities that you serve. We are working under the umbrella of a singular Guyana, one Guyana. And the message is not only about us uniting, it is about empowering together, building equitable platform for development. It is forward-looking, transformative, and focused. That is what the One Guyana is about. It is not only the coming together of people. It is the coming together of ideas. It is the putting together of plans and development strategies. It is the unfolding of the transformation that we're talking about. In less than 2 years, when you take the current and capital expenditure, in less than 2 years, your government has invested more than $50 billion in Amerindian communities and Amerindian people.
Former Member of Parliament and PNCR member Marvin Williams said Indigenous leaders and people must demand their right to self-determination and must therefore protest the lack of consultations in the planning of the conference.
Despite the machinations of the PPP to exert political control over the proceedings, the APNU-AFC welcomes all Indigenous leaders. Indigenous leaders and peoples must demand their right to self-determination. They must demand that the PPP respect the right to free, prior and informed consent, as provided for in the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UNDRIP. They must therefore protest the lack of consultations in planning this conference. They must protest the non-invitation of members of the immediate past executive of the National Two Shows Council, NTC, the non-governmental organizations, and the parliamentary opposition. They must demand to set their own agenda and to manage the sessions themselves. They must demand a discussion of the issues such as the revision of the Amerindian Act, the victimization of elected village leaders based on perceived political affiliation, the land and mining rights issues at Isinru, Chinese Landing, and the Marudi Mountains, and how Indigenous families and communities will benefit from our oil revenues. Our Indigenous leaders must defeat the goal of the PPP to dominate and dictate what is best for the Indigenous peoples. This attitude of the PPP reeks of disrespect and assumed superiority. Indigenous peoples must force the PPP to back off from trampling on their dignity and their rights. Should the PPP be allowed to prevail with its agenda of domination, control and disrespect, then Indigenous leaders, communities and peoples will never be masters of their own destiny under the PPP government.
This year's National Two Shows Conference is being held under the theme Good Governance and Fast Tracking Amerindian Development. For these and other stories, do visit us at our website www.rdproductiongy.com.